If there's one movie I remember watching in the 90s, it would have to be a movie that involved dinosaurs, and a fairly complicated story, that is, if you're watching it as a kid. However, if you're watching it as an adult and pay attention to the storyline, you'll realize how much truth, knowledge, and accuracies are involved when it comes to money, greed, arrogance, and not paying attention to human nature, because, life finds a way. Jurassic Park was released in 1993, and holy crap is this movie awesome. This is one of those movies where I watched it with my family on random movie nights as a way to bond. Our eyes were glued, the concept is amazing, and the fact you get to ask yourself, what if you lived in a world full of dinosaurs haunts your mind because it's not just survival, it's adapting. Now, to briefly sum up one aspect of the movie, there's a good amount of dinosaurs, and back then, we were also limited in what we knew. So we had a Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Brachiosaurus, Dilophosaurus, and Velociraptors. My inner child in me wished we saw pterodactyls, but that was saved for part 3. What I really love about this movie is that you get to see the pace slowly build for these prehistoric creatures, because by the time you get to the introduction of the T-Rex, you better believe this was probably the most terrifying thing to witness, and it's also the most beautiful scene to admire at the same time. Not only is that scene haunting, but seeing the ripple effect in the water is enough to give you goosebumps. The use of animatronics and slight CGI brought so much realism to it that it makes you feel like you're screaming with the characters, especially when it roars. And to add on, it's dark, it's raining, and looking at the T-Rex in the eyes is absolutely scary. As for the human characters, you have Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattle, a paleontologist and paleobotanist respectively. There's Ian Malcom, who's a chaotician, a blood-sucking lawyer who gets eaten by a T-Rex while in the bathroom, John Hammond, who's the founder of a company called InGen and the creator of a new park, alongside his grandchildren, Tim and Lex. The basic plot is John Hammond is creating a park that involves dinosaurs on a tropical island called ISLA NUBLAR. In order to get investments and funding, he approaches and invites Alan, Ellie, and Ian to come check it out to hopefully endorse it. Now, I won't get too deep here, but they learned that InGen used preserved mosquito blood, frog DNA, and many more to recreate these dinosaurs. As innovative as it sounds, the highlight of the film is Ian teaching the practice of chaos theory, and how it's genetically risky to have humans and dinosaurs to coexist together. And this scene hits hard, so I advise you to watch it to go more in depth, because you really learn a lot and feel the dangers to come. However, John Hammond's negligence overlooks all 3 of their advice when they decline to greenlight the project for safety measures. We're also introduced to Dennis Nedry, who plays a crucial character in the story's plot. He's basically working behind Hammond's back to steal dinosaur DNA or embryos for money, given by Lewis Dodson, and I love that scene when he's eating and shouting his name. Every motive and situation he's in creates the outcome or fate of every character when taking a tour of the park, before the storm approaches and electricity goes out. So if it wasn't for him, all the loose dinosaurs wouldn't have freely roamed the park, causing the entire franchise to have future continuations. However, I will admit, any scene involving Dennis is hilarious. I love the password scene with Ray Arnold, the arrows he misguides after crashing to find the loading docks, and not to mention his death and dialogues with the Dilophosaurus. As for the kids, they're basically there to teach Alan he can be a good father figure someday because he hates kids. And this is also a backstory to impress Ellie, because I guess they had some kind of a fling. The kids do get involved in an awesome dinosaur chase scene in a field, Tim gets electrocuted with high voltage, and Lex not only saves the day miraculously saying that she's a hacker, but that one scene where she's eating the jello and seeing that silhouette of the Velociraptor is frickin' insane. It's such great acting, and probably my mother's favorite scene in cinema history. By the end of the movie, you see a giant brawl of the T-Rex fighting the Velociraptors when the characters are trying to escape and practically tell John Hammond he can take his park and shove it up his ass. Overall, there's a lot to say about Jurassic Park. A lot of different scenes involving different characters, whether that involves death, chase scenes, screaming, learning about dinosaurs, laughing at the guy saying, "clever girl," or just how life works. But I will say, I do love how this VHS tape that you see in this video is the exact tape my family and I would watch together using the VCR. My father even bought it from Blockbuster, as you can see the sticker on the back. And I just remember how haunting the soundtrack is, and the iconic main theme song that'll keep replaying in your head. And every build-up is enough to give you an adrenaline, because each scene keeps you watching to know what will happen next. Until this day, it will forever be the only greatest Jurassic Park movie to date. Nothing even compares to the excitement and hype this movie offered, and it's best to keep it that way. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Jurassic Park, and I'll talk to you all next episode.